Hey everybody, Logan here. Today we're answering a question, well, that I've been getting quite a bit. It's not just for one specific console or platform, but what is the best controller? Today we're talking about the Nintendo Switch because we're going into holidays and, well, a lot of people are asking. So, with that being said, I've narrowed it down to two. Why two, you say? One's going to be more affordable, one is going to be a little more expensive. Now, there are a lot of people that don't want to spend an arm and a leg, or they just don't have the budget. Other people, well, money's not a factor. So I'm going to give you two different options depending on who you are. You might find one of these might fit your needs. Hopefully they do. We're going to compare the two of them and then even look up some of the specs that might help you decide a little better. With that being said, let's hit that intro, see which one's better. Okay, we've got two different controllers here. One coming from GameSir, the other one coming from Gilly Kit. Now I bet you're wondering, hey, do they come in those cases? Why are they in those cases? Are they protective? Yeah, both of these controllers come with these cases. It's not a main factor of why I chose these, but it was a big plus. So this is the one that's less expensive. We got the GameSir and then we got the Gilly Kit. Gilly Kit is more expensive. So first we're going to take a look at the GameSir. This is called the GameSir Nova. This retails for $35.99. You can buy it on Amazon. I'm sure if you take a look, especially with the holidays coming up, you might find it a little less, but at $35.99, this is a fantastic controller, and the fact that it comes with the case is just a big plus. So this one is the one that has that original Game Boy aesthetic. There's also one that has the Miami aesthetic or the Vice, whatever you want to call it. It's teal with the pink buttons. Again, Miami Vice, if you guys know. Now this one has that retro Game Boy design. It has a solid, comfortable, yet familiar layout of the standard Switch Pro controller. You have Hall effect sticks, and then you have the HD rumble, as well as gyro. Type-C on the top, you have your standard digital triggers here, and membrane face buttons with RGB lighting. That's cool. You have two sets of programmable back buttons, one on the left, one on the right. You have a textured grip. The only thing that neither of these controllers have are NFC. So you're not going to be able to use your amiibos with them. That is an issue. It's hard to find a good third-party controller that has usable NFC. I've tested a number and they don't always respond. I think if you want something with NFC, just go with the standard Switch Pro controller. But again, we're talking about that $60, $70 price tag, depending on which variant you get with the different art and so on. But this one, like I said, you can get straight from GameSir or on Amazon, $35.99. I think this is a fantastic option. It's very comfortable in the hand. It has some weight to it, but it's not too heavy, so it feels quality. I've used this, I don't know, countless times. And I would go back and forth between this one and then the Gilly Kit that we're going to take a look at in just a moment. I do like the smooth D-pad. The rumble on here is fantastic. It is HD rumble. And then you have your programmable button on the front, as well as your standard Switch buttons. Yes, and you have the GameSir chicken logo. I don't know why they chose a chicken, but hey, it's there. I do like the design. I think this is a very good controller in terms of functionality. Again, you can run it as a wireless or a wired controller via Type-C. And then that beautiful case. Next, this one is the more expensive one. This one retails for $59.99. Again, you might be able to find something on Amazon where it might be running a deal or something, but the standard price for this one is $59.99. And this is the K3 Pro from Gilly Kit, also known as Zen Pro, depending on where you're purchasing it. I don't know if they're trying to get away from the Gilly Kit brand or rename it for retail. I don't know. Every time I've seen it at a retail store, it's been called Zen Pro, but they're still Gilly Kit. As long as you see that symbol, you'll see the same symbol there that kind of looks like a G depending on how you're looking at it, what have you. But that'll be Gilly Kit as well as Zen Pro. Now this one is going to be a bit heavier. You're also going to notice it comes with a bit more. It has flappy paddles for the back and a USB dongle if you're using it on PC. So here on the back, it has the places where you can fit those flappy paddles. If you like, you can fit them in multiple places, whether it's here, 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 here. It all depends on what you want. I'm not a big fan of these, but hey, the fact that you got them, and there's a lot of people that do like that, and since you can use it on your Switch and your PC, it becomes a bit more versatile. Now, you can also buy more in the future. You can buy other ones. They do have the kits, so you can use that as well. Just like the GameSir, it does have lighting and HD rumble. That, I will say, the lighting is nice on both controllers. It has a very similar D-pad style, but this one also has that retro look, if you will. NES, Game Boy. You see, I like that retro. I'm old. What can I say? This one also has Hall effect sticks. Now, if you're using it on PC, it can work up to 8,000 hertz. This one does not have it, but this one does. Again, you're also paying almost twice the price. It's around $60, where this one's $35. So, just a little less than half. If you're looking at the body, you still have Type-C. You have those shoulder buttons that are very reminiscent of the Xbox, and they still are analog compared to digital on the GameSir. So again, you can use this with PC and get all the functionality that you get out of a standard Xbox style controller for it. Now, everything is membrane. They say it's tactile, but tactile, some people say, oh, tactile means mechanical. No, not always. This has that membrane feel, so does the GameSir, but of course it would at that price point. You're not going to find too many mechanical buttons on controllers that cost that little. You do have your Hall effect as well as the HD rumble. So if this is the thing that you like, the back flappy paddles, this one might just be the go-to controller for you, as well as the 1000 hertz and PC compatibility. I think this one feels just a little better quality than the GameSir. It's slightly bit heavier. The sticks are ever so slightly smoother, but that's just the texture in my opinion. That's about it. I'm not talking about the anti-friction. They're both anti-friction rings, so you're not going to have any issue there. But the big thing here is the customizable flappy paddles and analog as well as 1000 hertz and full PC compatibility. Yes, this can be used on your PC as well, but you get more functionality out of this. I would recommend that if that's the one you want to use on your Switch and your PC. With all that out of the way, in terms of just looking at the controller, what it offers, let's take a look at some specs. There's a website I use called GamePadla, and they have some fantastic specs. And it will maybe steer you in one direction or the other. Maybe it won't. Let's take a look. First controller we're going to take a look at is the GameSir Nova here on GamePadla. GamePadla gives you a lot of technical specs about the controllers. So we're going to take a look at this one first. And as you can see, it's compatible with Android, iOS, Linux, PC, and Nintendo Switch. But again, we are focusing on the Nintendo Switch. Just know that you can use it on those other platforms. Now, the interfaces for this one, it says Bluetooth, cable, and dongle. For your Switch, you will just be using either Bluetooth or the cable. I usually recommend Bluetooth, and then you'll see why in a second. You can see it was originally released back in March of 2024. Price range $30 to $60. Do not pay the $60 price tag. If you can get it for less than $35.99, go for it. That is the MSRP from GameSir. So I would, look for something in that price range. Let's go down. You can see a GameSir Nova input lag comparison. When you look at this, it'll actually show you what, basically, here you go, connection on this map. So it's a visual representation on this grid of which point that's plotted here. I think it's a little easier. We're going to just take a look at the hard numbers here. if you look, the first one, it says dongle on the Switch. You do not need a dongle. I wouldn't recommend it. And then you can go down here, cable on the Switch, and then Bluetooth on the Switch. Now, if you're using the dongle or the cable, you're going to only get 125 hertz. Now you're going to see most controllers only ranging at 125 hertz for the Switch, but if you go down to Bluetooth, you get 250. 250 hertz is your standard on the Xbox, but do these controllers even reach that? You're looking at the Nintendo Switch has 125 hertz. With the cable, you're getting 99.99 hertz out of that. So with the dongle, you're getting 119.39 out of the 125. Okay, but the best one is the Bluetooth at 172.37 of the 250 hertz. So just use it wireless, and that's where you're going to get your best performance. And you also have a rather decent latency. Now on the Switch, you get the lowest latency when you are using the cable, but everybody knows that cable controllers, wired controllers, have the least amount of latency. But now look at that maximum latency up there. That is woof. So don't worry about it. You shouldn't be using the dongle. When I purchased it, it didn't even come with the dongle, so that should tell you something right there, but it does have dongle compatibility, so that's one thing. Now let's go down to the stick test for GameSir. This is the inner dead zone and the outer dead zones there. Okay, when you see it in yellow, it's okay, meh, right? When you see it in red, it's bad. When you see it in green, it's good. So you got your stick resolution positive, that's right in the center, that's great. Asymmetry index, that's great. Circle error, that is completely fine. Central accuracy, that is fine. So the only thing you're really looking at are the dead zones. They're not terrible, but they're not great. I've actually seen more expensive controllers that are in the $100 range, maybe $70, $80, that have awful dead zones. So that's great for a controller at this price. And then if you want to see a few more technical specs and as it compares to a few other controllers, you do have this, but this is, whew, that's a lot of things to compare it to, and that's a video for another day. So one thing I do want to look at right here before we move on to the next controller is GameSir Nova pros and cons. It does have back buttons, dead zone control, gyroscope, Hall sticks, low price, multiple platforms, comes with a case. The negatives, NFC, like I said, there's no software. So the triggers, yeah, you're not getting analog, you're getting digital. Weak vibration is input in Bluetooth. So yeah, you're not getting that. The vibration isn't terrible. I actually think it's all right. It's not heavy, but you know, some people like the heavy vibration. So that one's a little debatable on, you know, the user. And there you go. That is a quick summary of the GameSir Nova. Now we're going to take a look at the Gilly Kit K3 Pro. So this one also works with Android, iOS, Linux, PC, and Nintendo Switch. Interfaces, Bluetooth, cable, and dongle. Came out in May of 2024. The price range on this one is around $50 to $70. Again, like I said, don't pay that higher price. Get that minimum of $60. Like I said, that's MSRP, and then you can get it low. You might even be able to get it lower than $50, but remember that when you are purchasing it. Now we're going to come down, as you can see. Wow. That makes me wonder. Oof, 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 oof. So, sticks latency. This one has a bit more information on it. Why? Because it has more platforms and a few more features. So we've got a few more to cover. But here we're going to look at Bluetooth because that's the only thing that has listed for the Nintendo Switch, and this is going to be your sticks latency. So 125 hertz, you're only getting 72.24. Oof. And then when we go down here and see the button latency On the Switch, Bluetooth, 72.24 of your 125 hertz. Now your aux, the latency is pretty high. You got 40.5, if I'm not mistaken. These are running in milliseconds. Yes, average milliseconds, 37.63. Little rough. But now we get to the polling rate down here for the Nintendo Switch on your cable, 8.2 milliseconds, which is very, very good. 121.22 of your 125 hertz. And then if you're looking at Bluetooth, it goes up just a little bit, 14.46, but you're only getting 69.14 of that 125 hertz. So, ugh. Now, why did I say I recommend this controller? Because of the feature-rich nature of it. Now, if these don't bother you, I think it's a very good controller. And again, these are, let's look at the note, latency with an asterisk are based on polling rate and do not represent actual input lag. So that's why you have to take it with a grain of salt on these, but not these. This is button latency and stick latency. They're not ultra high, but they're high. And anytime you see it in red, it is not great. I think this is a decent controller. I think it's a great controller for the price. The only thing is, are you going to be using it as input? No, you probably won't. Are you going to be using it on the Switch? Most people using this on the Switch will not notice that 40 millisecond or 37 millisecond delay. So keep that in mind. Now, if we go down, this is where it performs. The only problem that I have, and I haven't seen it when using it, and I've used this one quite a bit, I haven't come into any of those. That's why the millisecond latency, I can't really say I've noticed it. That's why these, I really take them with a grain of salt. Just like the Game Nova, there's really not a ton of noticeable latency. I don't see it. But again, it all depends on what you're playing. Are you playing competitive Crisis? No, probably not. Even if you're playing Fortnite, you're probably not going to notice it. Games like Mario, Animal Crossing, Metroid, you're not going to notice it. So keep that in mind, but do you really need all that? I don't think so. Let's go back down here. Inner dead zone, none. Outer dead zone, low. That is fantastic. Stick resolution, 1000. Asymmetry, 38 over 9.9. 3.8 over 9.9%. That's fantastic. Circle error, 0%. This is my only issue. Central accuracy, 4.2 out of 3.6%. So it's slightly bit off. Again, I haven't seen those issues or noticed it when I've had it, but all this is fantastic. I have spoken to a number of people who prefer it this way and who prefer this controller. They've purchased both of these and they prefer the Gilly Kit K3 Pro hands down over the Game Nova. If you're going to ask me, I prefer the Game Nova. I like the price and I like the features, but this is still a great controller. Now let's go down and look at the pros and cons as well. Back buttons, gyroscope, Hall sticks, macros, multiple platforms, stick resolution. Fantastic features. Bluetooth input lag, dongle latency, NFC, software. Those are the cons. What do you guys think? If I had to pick, well, I'm sure you guys can see which one I've already chosen just by listening to the way I talk about it. And that's the Game Nova. I really do like it. It's less expensive and, well, it supports all of my needs. But does the Gilly Kit K3 Pro or the Game Nova support your needs? Drop it down in the comment section below. Tell me, have you gotten either of these? What do you think? So hopefully all that helped you decide which one is best between, well, Game Nova, Gilly Kit K3 Pro. I know there are a ton of other controllers out there, but in my opinion, I really had to narrow it down with everything that I've tested and tried. I really do like these. Yes, there are other controllers out there that I think are just fantastic for the Nintendo Switch outside of the first-party Nintendo Switch Pro controller. There are other ones that are compatible with the Switch that are also compatible with the PC, like the Tarantula Pro from GameSir. That's a fantastic one. You also have the FlyDigi offerings like the Vader 4 Pro, but you really can't get all of the functionality out of those controllers for use on the Switch. I think probably the Tarantula Pro might be the one that you would probably get the most out of, especially with the gears, switching up the buttons, but you still don't get the 1000 hertz in most of them. You still don't get the analog. You still don't get, there's so many features you don't get using the Switch because the Switch doesn't offer compatibility with those features. So unless you're going to use it on PC, it really doesn't justify spending the extra money. So if you want something that is a little higher price with a bit more functionality, the KK3 Pro is the way to go. If you want something with all the functionality at half the price, GameSir Nova. So there you guys go. Hopefully that helped. Let me know if there's another controller that you think would hang with these two controllers. Drop it in the comments section below. Maybe I'll look into them if I haven't already. Thank you guys so much. God bless you all. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Like we always say, be legendary. Thanks again.